Okay, so here we have the I paid £12 for this, £12 specialised. What are we, a rock hopper? Hard rock? What is it? It's a hard rock, there we go. Chain's rusty, suspension fork's even more rusty, 26er, pretty obsolete. Frame's actually not too bad. Yeah, I know, the thing's covered in mould and it looks like a mess, but I genuinely believe I can save this one. No play in the bottom bracket, which is good. Sadly the seat's a bit mouldy. Not too bad. I mean, it's going off-road after all, right? I'm going to get a little muddy. Yeah, 25.4 bars there. Nice rise on them though. Not like 35 modern bars you get today. That basic Suntour XCT, which is definitely not going to work ever again. Apart from that, yeah, good bike. Rocking the 8-speed rear cassette, which I'm sure is totally fine. Let me look at that. It's from an Altus. It's from Thomas's Cycle Revolution. And you know, my name's Tom, so maybe we can get this running. Well, we have fix in a bottle right here. This fixes just about all of life's problems. And no, you don't drink it, or you'd be an idiot. I know I can rotate the chain, yada yada yada. Put it down the cables. See if we can get away with using the originals. Ultimate cheapo bike rebuild. Oh, got some on the brake there. Someone's going to complain about that. Probably me later when it starts making horrible noises, which it will too. Just holding the hammer. Let's never give these forks a bit of a service right here. In the headset as well, can't hurt. Better than rainwater, right? Some down the brake cable. Probably not on the brake, on the cable. Just taking it in. Gradually see it there. I usually do this on winter bikes anyway, it stops the cables rusting. It really does. Instead of getting like 3 months out of a cable and you're pulling it out and the whole thing's just full of mud and crud, and you just throw it away and put another one on. Yeah, a year or so out of it or more. This one's probably a little too far gone. Only a bit of a guess, they're all stuck. Gear cable. Cables, it one? Yeah, it's one cable on here, one continuous long cable, all the way to the handlebars. So that's one good thing, it stops dirt and crap getting in. I know it's not proper bike clear, it's WD, but it's better than freaking rainwater. So, might as well put a bit on there. Yeah, see what happens. We'll give this a bit of a... Only way of really cleaning this chain up is to literally ride the thing. Yeah, I know WD40 isn't chain lube, but we don't want to lubricate the rust, you want to remove it. And you'll drastically reduce the life of it, but at the minute there's not got any life in it because it's rusted solid, so... I think it's rusted solid, it might not be. No stiff links as of yet. You sticky one. I mean, it's just like a 30 quid bike at the most to sell on. So, oh there we go, stiff link. I'll have to twiddle that off camera. Just moving with your fingers where it's stiff and see what it's like. Oh yeah, gear cable is set in cement. Coming off, but it ain't pulling it back, so not sure what's up with that. I know it's definitely cable related. Right, I'll get off camera and start doing stuff to it. Okay, well, that's inside the gear shifter. Just remove the cover, it's just 2 screws. And yeah, there's wildlife in there. It's a spider nest, a dead spider nest, but silly little egg sacky thing. I might have to replace this gear cable. No, just maybe. Oh yeah, she's very, very stiff. Just lay it on the side, let it get the WD-40 really in there. The cables are cheap, but you know, we'll just see what you do. Oh yeah, that's not a good sign. That usually means the cable's sticking. Well, I say cables are cheap, then again so are bikes these days, so if you've got one of these, you probably don't want to spend too much money on it. It's 26 at the end of the day. Well, good news is we've got inside the fork. Very easy, just undo the one nut that's on top of here. That's all there is, just one nut. This leg's just a dummy leg, there's nothing inside of it at all. Just one coil spring, nothing else. And slide the lowers right off. I'm going to need to hit this with some sandpaper and clean all this rust off. So, without further ado, let's get on with it. Okay, now it's got to remove the rust. Use a chisel for the crusty bits. Wash it off with a sponge and some water. Use WD-40 if you want. Basically, just trying to get this surface as smooth as possible. Knock all the bad stuff off with a chisel. Or coarse sandpaper, whatever you want really. And then basically slap it back together with a load of grease and it should move. It's not got damping or anything, it's just a basic old sun tool, but it'll move. The pogo stick of a fork will work again. Just trying to reclaim his territory. Well, just took it out for a little spin and she all runs, goes through the gears okay. Surprisingly it doesn't need a new cassette and chain. I was thinking that I'm probably pushing my luck a little bit, but yeah, it does all work. The chain checks out okay, believe it or not. The cassette's not actually that bad, so apart from the rust, we're going to run it like this with this WD-40 on there, and it'll come up good as new once you run a rag over it after a few miles. Do about 10 miles on it, thereabouts, maybe 20, and that'll clean all that rust off of it just by pedalling and going through the gears repeatedly, like more than you would normally. You'd just change through the gears aimlessly if you like. Forks need a little bit more of a clean up. I'm out of sandpaper, so I'm going to need to grab more. They do move at the moment, but you can still see a bit of rust on there. You might be tempted to paint them. The problem with that, if you paint them, the paint will just hang up on the seals and it'll just rub the paint off anyway, so it's kind of pointless and they won't work as well as they did before. So I mean, if they're RockShox or anything, don't go. You shouldn't do this with RockShox or anything like that, what I did, because there some air forks and things that got aluminium corrosion on the stanchions. It's pretty much game over. You need to do CSU. But yeah, they're just basic sun tools, so it's totally fine in this case. We didn't replace any parts at all, just literally WD-40 down all the cables, got all them freed up with that. Yeah, a good cleaning basically, that's all I did to it. WD-40 the chain, that will be followed up by some proper chain lube, and after we clean all the crud off of it, get rid of this dork disc that's on the back. And yeah, probably going to paint handlebars as well, because I've got some paint. I do have some other bars, but these have quite a nice rise to them, and they're kind of of the time period. So yeah, 2006 Specialized hard rock, somewhere around there. It might be 2008, 2009, but it's the other side of the 2010s, if you know what I mean. Right, thank you for watching Specialized hard rock restoration.